Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the QT2 Systems, My Greatest Moment podcast series. I'm pleased to welcome our featured guest today, Mariana Lara. Welcome, Mariana.
Hi, thank you for having me today. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us. We were chatting a little before we got started on your story, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about it and letting our viewers hear your story. So let's start out with just tell me what your greatest moment was.
Well, my greatest moment was this year when I finished IRONMAN Lake Placid, and it was a proud finish, not because it was a fast race, not because I might have qualified for something, but because it was a celebration for kicking cancer spot.
Nice. Okay. So I won't have a ton of questions to ask you about that, but I want to back up further because you don't show up at Lake Placid without having a history of triathlon. So talk me back for when you first entered into the world of endurance sports.
That was a long time ago. I started running and going up and down mountains when I was in my late teens. So it's been quite a while. I belong to a mountaineering group in Argentina, and we used to go up mountains, like high mountains, like over 20,000 feet. Like do little hikes for like several days.
Little hikes, yeah.
Like little hike. Yes, like kind of expeditions, short expeditions,
Mhm.
I would call it. And then when I moved to the US, I continue running, doing like running races. And then one day it occurred to me that I wanted to try to do a triathlon, a sprint triathlon. So my first sprint triathlon was in 2006. And that is how it all started. So
Okay.
that year I did shorter races, and then 2 years later, I tried the full distance. And
Okay.
I was in
So
love with
when
the
you went into
endurance.
your first sprint, you were a runner. How did you get yourself into the cycling and swimming piece of it to prepare?
I didn't know how to swim. I had to learn to swim. I took swimming lessons. I've never swum before, so I had no idea. I was in my late 20s, early 30s, so I had to learn how to swim. I took classes, and then after I was a little bit more confident, I joined a master's group, and that helped a lot. And then for the biking, I just bought a bike and a road bike, like cheap road bike, and started biking around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for someone who didn't know how to swim, what was it about the sport of triathlon that made it interesting to you then, that made you want to do it?
I had a friend in Argentina that did triathlon, and I was always curious, like, how does she fit in the three things? And she was a great runner. But I don't know, I never gave it a shot when I was there.
Mhm.
When I moved here, triathlon was more popular than over there. So I decided to give it a shot.
Okay. And your first race went well enough for you just to do another and another and another.
Yes, yes. The first race was a little sprint in Vermont. Um, it was great. My goal was just to get to the finish line. I had no time expectations, nothing. Just get to the finish line the fastest you can. And if it's slow, whatever. And it was fun. I had so much fun.
One of my first triathlons, I think the second one I ever did was in Vermont. I'm curious which one. Do you remember the name of the race?
It was one it wasn't the Shelburne one. I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Um, There is I don't remember. I'm sorry.
No, that's
Long
okay.
time ago, I was so long
Yeah,
ago.
long time ago, 2006. You've had so many races since then.
Yeah.
So then you jumped up. You said your first Ironman was 2 years after that?
Yes, in 2008. That was
2008.
my first Ironman distance. It wasn't
Okay.
like the branded Ironman. It was the Chesapeake Man in Maryland. They don't have it anymore. Now it's Ironman Maryland. Ironman took over, but that was my first full. And again, no expectations, just get to the finish line and enjoy everything. And so
Yeah.
I did. I won my age group that year. So I was
No
pretty.
expectations sometimes is nice, no pressure. So
Yeah,
this
no
is
pressure.
great. Yeah. But I mean, so you naturally like doing these multi-day expeditions, climbing to 20,000 feet, running. I think you said you ran marathons, right? So you knew you were an endurance athlete. I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
that was sort of your natural
Yes.
progression to go towards the Ironman distance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like the um I don't know why I've always looked for like things that are hard to do, difficult to do for some reason. I don't know. I just want to prove myself that I can do it, I can finish it. And it just calls me. I don't know, these things call me. I don't know, I like it. I enjoy the being out there for so long and being with your own mind and dealing with the highs and lows.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, it's fun.
I don't think you could keep doing it all these years if it wasn't fun, you know? I mean, sometimes the first one, yeah, I wanted to do it. I want to check it off. But if you keep coming back year after year, there's something about it that
Yes.
draws you back, that draws you back to it. So how many, I mean, that was 2006. You did Lake Placid in 2024. How many Ironmans distance events have you done over the years?
With Ironman, with the sprints, I lost count. With the halves, I lost count too. I'm just only counting the full distances. Lake Placid was my number 15.
Number 15. Okay. And outside of Lake Placid this year, do you have other like really memorable races that you've done?
When I did Ironman Maryland in 2014, I won my age group. That was my fastest Ironman ever. It was a big surprise. I had no expectation also of, I just wanted to do the best I could. I never imagined that I was going to win my age group. But it was a dream that I had to win my age group at an Ironman. And so
Yeah.
I did. So it was good.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And of course, it was a Kona slot that I took.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask. So if you win your age group, so you've been to Kona before
Yes, 4 times. Four
4
times.
times.
2010, 2015, 17, and 22. Yeah, it's been interesting going
Yeah.
to different years.
Yeah. I mean, did it get over having done it 4 times? Did it get easier with time? I mean, knowing the course, or is it just each year?
I
Just
think no, it doesn't get any easier, but I know what's coming at least.
yeah.
I know I've been there before. I know the course. I know it gets hot. So I kind of have an idea of how things may turn out weather-wise. But I've had different outcomes in Kona every time that I've been there. I have bonked, I have been okay, I have ended up in the ER. So it's been different things. Last time was pretty good.
Okay. Good. Well, it's good to have your last one be the one that went the best.
Yes.
So, um, in this process, when did you start working with Dave Zimmet, your QT2 coach? When did you start working with him?
I don't remember exactly the year, but about maybe 5 or 6 years ago. we started working together. So I contacted him. I read his bio and everything, and I said, well, I think we could be a good fit. And so yeah, we did. So I like working with him. He by now he knows me. Um, he knows my communication style. He knows, pretty much how I work out and what I can do. And he believes in me. So I think we have a good coach-athlete relationship.
Mhm. So what, I mean, in general, what brought you to QT2? Because you were, I mean, successful, very successful before that. So what was it about QT2 or Dave specifically that had you come over as an athlete?
When I joined QT2, I was doing like the mission plans kind of thing. I just needed something different, a different approach to, like, I have never had like a structure training like given to me. It's always like I come up with my own workouts,
Mhm.
um, like reading things from a book from the internet. So I wanted something a little bit more serious, like QT2 does with the mission plans. And then
Mhm.
later I said, well, I wanted it to be more like personalized.
Okay.
So that it's just tailored to me and that's it, you know.
Mhm.
Um, so that's why I decided to have a coach.
Yeah.
But it's
Okay.
been very helpful. It's been very, very helpful. I learned quite a lot.
And so let's talk about Lake Placid because that for you to be ready this year was not an easy task. So maybe we can just back up a year before. I mean, take us back like to 2023 and when you found out about your cancer diagnosis. Maybe you can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so back in I think it was like around March 2023. So my doctor, she's been telling me for quite a while that I needed surgery, and I just been postponing every year. I just didn't want to do it. I just said, no, I just wait. Well, I just couldn't wait anymore, so I decided to, okay, I'm just gonna do it because it's bothering me. So it got to the point where I was just not comfortable. So I was gonna have a simple procedure. I had fibroids in my uterus, which are benign tumors, and I was gonna have an easy procedure to shrink them. So the doctor asked for an MRI, and when the MRI came back, it showed that there was a cyst, a cancerous cyst in in my right ovary. So he said he didn't want to say the word cancer, but he said that I should see an oncologist. So I did. I went to the oncologist, and she was almost sure that those type of cysts were cancerous. So she said that I didn't need the surgery, no matter what. So that's how I mean I had to. I didn't have a choice at that point. Still, she wasn't like 100% sure that it was cancer, but most likely it was. So when I had the surgery, she tested everything. She took everything out. She tested it, and to our surprise, it came out normal. So for a little while, I thought I was done. I could put this, back, and I don't have to worry about anything. But they sent everything to the lab, and when they do whatever they need to do, the results came back, and it was ovarian cancer, and it was a very rare type. It was a rare type of ovarian cancer, and it was a stage 1, so it was confined to the ovary only. So I was lucky in that sense. But nobody wants to hear the word cancer or that, because it could also appear in other parts of the body. So It was hard to, digest.
Right.
But I had to focus on the solution. I just couldn't focus on the problem. So, the surgery was done. It was, the ovary was out, but I still have the other ovary. So it also needs to come out. I mean, I still have it. So because there is a high risk of the cancer coming back in the other ovary.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on.
So tell me about, I mean, you had to go in, have surgery. And I think you mentioned when we were talking before that it was open surgery. You couldn't do
Yes.
laparoscopic surgery. So
Yeah.
talk to me a little about the recovery process from that, because that's a lot
Yes, yes.
longer, right?
Yes, yes. So it was open surgery. They couldn't do laparoscopic surgery because my uterus was very big. So they had to open you up. They took out almost everything. They only left my left ovary. So the recovery was supposed, I was supposed to be clear for, exercise, in 8 weeks. So after the 8 weeks, I went to the doctor and she said, "You're not healing. I'm going to give you 4 more weeks." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, 4 more weeks." So 4 more weeks go by and I go again to my appointment and she said, "You are still not healed. I'm going to give you 4 more weeks." So at this point, I had to start, I was supposed to start training for Lake Placid. So I lost almost, I don't know, 2 months that I couldn't do anything. So 8 weeks turned out to be 16 weeks. And after, so that was really hard. I couldn't do anything, no swimming, no biking, no running, walking only, no lifting, nothing. And I followed that because I wanted to heal, I wanted to get better. I didn't want to have any setbacks. So it was really hard from, exercising every day, 15 to 20 hours a week, to being in bed on the couch at my desk, just doing, not doing any exercise was pretty hard. I was going crazy. I put on weight. Of course, I put on weight. I was just eating a lot. I was getting a little depressed too. So it was quite challenging not to do anything.
So when did you sign up for Ironman Lake Placid? When in the process of this timing?
I signed up before I knew that I needed the surgery, but I also I was gonna do the other procedure, so I still needed I needed something to focus on, something to look forward to. So I signed up for Lake Placid, and then when I was told that I wasn't healing, I started to have my doubts. I'm not gonna be able to do this race. I'm not gonna have time at all. I started training. So my surgery was at the end of October. I was able to start, training, to start moving by the end of February, beginning of March. And my running was jog 30 seconds, walk 30 seconds. That's
But
what
basically,
beginning.
that was, I mean, 4 months, right? Not even 4 months. You had to go from being in bed to doing an Ironman. And
Yes.
that's 4 months is a lot. I mean, even without recovering from cancer, 4 months off is a huge amount of time off. I took 2 weeks off my last race and I felt like I'd lost all of my fitness after 2 weeks. So, I mean, how was that like coming back? I mean, how long did it take before you started to feel a little more like yourself?
Oh, I didn't feel like myself until maybe a month ago, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't feel 100%, not at all. Like I was clear to, she said, okay, now you are healed. You can start exercising if you want, but it wasn't, I still felt like my body was not, like I wasn't 100%. Like I couldn't run. At first I was scared to run, to do anything. It just felt weird I felt like a little weird in the area where the surgery was. And it was just, my body wasn't ready. It was just, I just wasn't, I couldn't. Swimming was okay. It wasn't too bad, but still, and I felt all the time like tired. And also, the surgery also, um, made my body to change also a bit with the hormones, and I was like all over the place. So I was tired, I was very emotional, like almost all the time. Um, and so that part was hard too. I didn't think I was gonna do Lake Placid until probably May.
Yeah.
So with Dave, we decided, we go day by day, how you feel. Um, we still didn't know if I was gonna be able to. I told him it's most likely that we won't make it, but maybe we will. I don't know. We need to try it.
Mhm.
So we started very slow, very easy, and we started building little by little.
Yeah.
So my first bike ride was painful. Like I had a lot of pain in the area. I went for it like an hour. Um, into like I rode half an hour, and after half an hour started to feel pain. So, I had to slow down and come back. But I wasn't focusing on that, on the fact that I just couldn't do what I was doing last year or the year before. I was just focusing on I can bike.
Right.
I
Right.
can still run and jog. So it's like little victories that I had like every day
Yeah.
that kept me going.
And then how did you feel like on race morning when you lined up? What was going through your head that morning?
I was a little nervous because I didn't know how the things were gonna turn out. Um, the goal was to get to the finish line and to celebrate the fact that I was there racing and completing an Ironman that I thought I was not gonna be able to do.
Yeah.
But I was pretty calm anyways. The swim, I can't swim, so the swim is always what it is. Slow, but it's okay. I made it, and when I got out of the water, I'm like, I'm happy. This is done. I did it. It was like 3 different victories throughout the day.
Mhm.
The bike, I forgot how tough that bike course is. And with the new little addition they had,
Mhm.
um, it was hard. It felt hard, but I was happy to be there, and I enjoy every hill that I had to go up.
Yeah.
And then the run was just surviving. Surviving. We had a plan to walk all the aid stations. So I did the first loop, second loop. I just started walking in between. But I made it, and it was awesome that I finished it. When I finished, it was like, yes, I did it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious to see your finish line picture there, because that must have just been such like this release of emotion when you
Yes.
crossed.
Yes. Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's
there were other people that I knew there. They knew my, you know, about my surgery and everything. So it was just nice getting all the cheers from them. It was awesome.
I mean, what a difference. I mean, from going to, so a year before, when you signed up for Lake Placid, you had no idea what was ahead of you for that
No,
year. You had
not
no
at all.
idea, oh, I'm doing a simple procedure, I've got some recovery, and then on we go. And you
Yes, and
went from,
I was doing the math. Okay,
yeah,
she said, okay, she said in 8 weeks I'm gonna start exercising, and so I was imagining, you know, that in 8 weeks I was gonna be able to start jogging, but my body was just first it turned out to be a 16, and then still my body was just not ready for it. I didn't think, you know, I was gonna feel that way. I wasn't counting on it.
that's
And
a major change to your body.
yeah, yeah,
So,
it was a major
major
change in my
time.
body. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did-
adjusting was quite challenging.
Yeah, I'm curious what your doctor said when they said, okay, well, you can exercise. You say, well, can I do the Ironman? I mean, what kind of discussion was that? I mean, they must have known your history, but still.
Yes, yes. So she said, well, now you can go and do your ultras, whatever you your marathons, your ultra runs, or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
The second time that she said, you need another 4 weeks. I was like, I know that it's not her fault, but I got upset.
Sure.
And I said, this is BS.
Yeah.
Um, but I say, I know it's not your fault, but this is BS. And she was like, okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so
Yeah,
much and you went through, and I wish I'd known. I mean, we were at Lake Placid together. I wish I knew your story before we were there. That's just, I mean, that's so awesome. And you came back, and what an amazing accomplishment. Number 15 for you. So
yeah.
what's next? Is there a number 16? Is there something else you've got planned, or what are you thinking?
I haven't signed up for any yet. I think I might do Lake Placid. Again, I still have time to sign up. But my ovarian cancer thing is not quite over yet, unfortunately. So I need to have a second surgery, round two, to get my left ovary out. And then after that, it will just be surveillance every year so that it doesn't come out in other parts of my belly. But always looking forward to racing and doing fun stuff. Next year I turn 50, so I'm planning on hopefully on a celebration, like a year-long celebration of fun things to do that could be related to like racing or not, just fun trips. So I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah. I mean, everything must take on more significance in a way than it used to,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, and you know, like when I run now or when I go for a bike ride, you know, it's not if I'm like, oh, I'm going slow. I just, you know, I'm here, I'm biking. I'm, you know, I just focus on the good stuff, on the positive. Like who cares if I'm slower, you know? Who cares if I'm running 10-minute mile? I'm out here running, doing what other people probably can't do. So I try to see the good side.
Yeah. My son actually found a stat the other day. He was curious as to how many people, what percentage of the population has completed an Ironman. And I don't know, whatever the first result came up was that is 0.01%.
Oh, wow.
Completed, which is what, 1 in 10,000. It's not like, you know, that number's high anyway. But I'm sure that the number of how many people who've experienced cancer and been treated for cancer that do an Ironman, that number is a much lower percentage. And just to be able to come back and do what you loved. And I'm curious, I wonder, did you ever think that all the years of Ironman training, did they help you get through this in some way?
Yeah, yeah, you know, like you go one step at a time. Um, yeah, I think, you know, having that mindset of I can do it, I can get there, um, taking things slow,
Mhm.
uh, focusing on one thing at a time, one day at a time, one task at a time, and not worrying about, you know, what hasn't happened yet. So just focusing on the present, like I always do when I'm racing, you know, I'm gonna focus on the moment now. Um, and what, you know, what happened? Well, it happened, and, you know, focus looking forward.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing ever turns out exactly as you want it to, but
Yeah.
it's how you respond to it, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. If I had a bad swing, okay, that's in the past. Now I'm biking, so I'm focused on the present task. So
yeah.
the same with, you know, what happened. Okay, I had ovarian cancer. Okay, that is taken care of. Now I had to focus on the recovery, on um, getting better, and, you know, get moving, and try to come back to normalcy again.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, here's to kicking cancer's butt and just
Yes.
keep doing it. And it was such a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.